I never opened them. I couldn't. The idea of reading anything sent from a number that should no longer exist made me feel sick. I started keeping my phone outside the room, but even then, I'd wake up with this heavy presence around me. Some nights, the air smelled faintly like burning plastic. Other nights, there was a faint knocking sound, not on the door, but from inside the walls. A week passed before I finally broke down and opened one of the messages. There were no words, just a blurry photo that looked like it had been taken from a low angle. It took me a moment to realize it was my bedroom. The photo was taken at night, and I was in the bed, asleep. The blankets were pulled up to my chest. The closet door behind me was slightly open, though I always closed it. I dropped the phone. My hands were shaking. My throat was dry. The idea that someone or something had been in my room while I was unconscious made my skin crawl. I checked every lock in the house. Everything was secure. Nothing made sense. After that, the messages got worse. They came every night at the exact same time. Some were distorted images, impossible to fully understand. Some were videos that never loaded. A few were just black screens, but the timer showed they had lasted for minutes. One morning I found a photo of the backyard, taken from just beyond the tree line. Another was a shot of the hallway outside my room. These were angles that no one should have been able to access unless they were inside the house. I called the phone company. They confirmed the line had been disconnected days ago. No activity, no data, no way the numbers should be functioning. I asked if the messages could be scheduled in advance somehow, but they told me no. What I was describing wasn't possible. Still, they kept arriving. Every single night, I started noticing things around the house that weren't mine. A single muddy footprint near the window. A folded piece of paper tucked into the crack of my closet door. It was blank, but it smelled like smoke. I moved out of my bedroom and started sleeping on the living room floor. I unplugged the TV, turned off the router, shut off every light. Still, I woke up around 2 in the morning. Still, the cold came. And still, I felt that thing in the room with me. I stopped going out. I barely spoke to anyone. It wasn't fear anymore. It was something deeper. It felt like the thing pretending to be my brother was slowly wearing me down, like it was pushing into my thoughts, trying to take up space where grief used to live. I started having dreams. I couldn't remember but woke from in a cold sweat. My reflection sometimes lagged in the mirror, just for a second too long. One night, I woke up standing in the kitchen, not knowing how I got there. My phone was on the table. The screen was on. A message was open. I hadn't touched it. Whatever was sending the messages wasn't just reaching out, it was getting closer. It knew me. It knew my routines, my house, the way I moved through my day. It wasn't asking for help. It was watching, waiting, trying to become part of my life, part of me. And deep down, part of me wondered if ignoring it was making it stronger. I started writing things down, recording everything. I didn't want to forget the order it all happened. I needed to know I wasn't losing my mind. But even the notes began to change. I'd write something down, and the next day it would be different. Words I didn't remember writing. Sentences that ended without finishing. Pages that tore themselves out and reappeared under my pillow. Now, every night is the same. The house goes quiet. The clock ticks toward 2. My body starts to feel heavier. My limbs harder to move. The phone buzzes once and goes still. I don't need to check it anymore. I already know what it says. And whatever it is, it hasn't finished with me yet.